I get up and nothing ever gets me down. You got her tough, I've seen the toughest around.
Okay guys, this scenario 2, there's something to be said about this. I pretty much disagree with GW and the way they did this mission is only because it's Ard Boys. If this was a regular tournament, GT, yeah, I would still disagree. If this was just like a Rogue Trader tournament, I would be all about, I like the randomness. But here, the way that this is going to work out, 6 objectives. It's a seize ground mission and kill points. Kill points will determine your level of victory or your opponent's level of victory. You get 6 objectives. He gets 3, you get 3. Place all 6 at the ends of turn 2, 4, and 6. You decide which of these objectives would be real. So let's say it's the end of turn 2. This is the way they're placed. The objective number 5 is a real objective, and most likely you're not going to get to turn 6, but you probably will get to the end of turn 4. So on the end of turn 4, oh whoops, the end of turn 4, well, reroll Simons, then it's turn 1. So these 2 objectives, you could, it's just too random, and that's why I don't think that it fits in with Ard Boys. Ard Boys is a calculated, you know, general's game. A lot of people can sometimes disagree with the sportsmanship, the list breaking, you know, stuff like that, but it says very specifically that Ard Boys is not about any of that. It's just playing the game. So this is giving it a random feel to it. It's just going to come down to the dice, and anybody who plays 40K don't live by the dice, you know that. So this, I'm calling it a tactica video. On this scenario, he's gonna get 3, I'm gonna get 3. If I'm playing, oh, and another thing, this is an all-night fight. This is gonna cripple shooting armies. This is gonna hurt me. So it's not like you can reach out on your last turn and blast some guy off an objective. This has got me really crazy. It's a Dawn of War deployment. The question is, how do you deploy your objectives? So if I'm playing, let's say I'm playing against a demon army, you know, excuse me, I know he's going to be able to teleport in and basically get to my objectives no matter what offense I throw up to him. I'm going to, most likely, I think they've got to be placed 6 or 12 from the edge. I'm going to place them as far apart as possible in a very symmetrical way. That's how I'll do it. I don't know if we alternate. I don't know if I place my objective first. Most likely, if I were playing the demon guy, if I was playing with demons, excuse me, I would want to cluster all my things together, because those guys, when they're grouped together, are nasty. Now, if I'm playing a guard, I mean, I don't know how the guy will set up. Maybe he won't even put much thought to it. However, if I can be better with close combat than my opponent, basically if he's guard, or Tau, or, you know, Eldar's okay in close combat. I mean, I know they can be nasty, but most likely they're not. Then I would group them and group them as tightly as possible, because then I would force him to draw near me, and I could hopefully be within 3 inches of 2 objectives. So if you've got, here's another little side note, I'm getting off track, but if you've got objectives that are 12 inch apart, you park your unit and you spread them out. They got, you know, as long as they're in coherency, they can be within they can secure more than one objective. Don't forget that. That's a huge tactic, or that's a huge little thing. So Dawn of War deployment. If I get the first turn, and let's say I'm playing against guard, that means I want to push him back. All my loot counters are going to be clustered as tightly as possible, and maybe his will be over there. If his are over there, then I'm going to have to send a convoy out and try and get to him. I really want to play guard in this mission, because, well, depending, if I get first turn and I get to choose deployment, even though this is an objective mission, I will definitely take the deployment, because I will go here and here. Basically what I'm going to try and do, these will be modified, of course, I'm going to give him as little deployment area as possible. He has to come back 18 inches, so he's going to have to come back there. You know, get 6 inches in. We'll say those, and since I have only true troop choices, these might be empty rhinos, to be honest with you, and I might walk the guys on. Because I'm going to sacrifice those rhinos in order just to push him back. And I don't want to risk troop choices. And someone pointed this out to me over at Toy Wiz, is that if a rhino counts as a troop unit, since in consideration with deployment, it's in under the illustration in the Dawn of War deployment. Read it. It says a rhino counts as a unit. So I would only be able to put one out with full of people, because then the infantry inside would then count. I will put 2 empty ones out and walk everything on. I might have a sorcerer in there. That's if I see that he's deploying. Well, if I'm deploying first, I have no idea what he's doing. Well, either way, if I get first turn, granted he doesn't steal my initiative, I will then immediately pull back. That's if he's shooting. And then what I might do with everything else, send a convoy over this way. Or if I do have it up this way and he clusters his stuff, I'll just send it over there and try and survive, you know, in order to get over there. And while these guys come up, using the 2 units that I had in the empty tanks, I will walk them on and use them to contest whatever objectives I can. The lash, well, and then here's another thing. I will most likely deep strike my blitz off of my sorcerers. I give them personal icons. That way, the short range, you know, they're pretty good in short range, man. Twin-linked plasma guns. That's 6 plasma gun shots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know, rerolls. Reroll 1. Well, so I'd so overheat, but then, you know, they're sick. They can still be sick, and that was 1 unit. So I'll deep strike them off them, and then try and just blast a hole in the wherever the objectives are. Now, if it's a guard unit that places his out, that will be much more difficult. It's just going to have to come down. We'll have to wait and see what actually happens, guys. One more thing I forgot to say: demons will own this stage, man. This and Chris's Vulcan bikers, they're going to be able to run all over the place and secure objectives and not get shot. Oof. Oh, spotlights. Brother Captain James mentioned one very important thing about spotlights. Spotlights, to use a spotlight, you still have to roll, okay, this guy has a spotlight, and he's targeting, you know, that guy over there, so everybody can see him, right? So this guy has to do the 2d6 times 3, and if he fails, anybody who tries to use a spotlight can be seen. So even if he doesn't get to illuminate the enemy over there, everybody in the opposing army can still see this unit, regardless of whether it's successful or not. There's one more thing about Scenario 2, and this links to Scenario 3, is that I changed my list in order. We took out 1 troop choice to help A with the first one, but B is to give some points up to make so I could put aspiring champions with power fists in my squads. It gives me a little more close combat teeth, and I think that it's going to be really important in Scenarios 2 and 3.